Hello, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Maria Stutzmany-Marcus, and I serve as a Director of Graduate Admissions and Recruitment here at Mendoza College of Business at the University of Notre Dame. And it is my honor and privilege to be seated alongside our Academic Director for the Executive MBA program, Gianna Bern. Thank you so much for being here today. It is such
welcome.
It's a delight always.
You're
and
welcome.
So we have a series of questions. We're very interested in learning more about the program from your vantage point.
Sure.
And I guess to kick off, can you tell us a little bit about what brought you to this leadership role and share more about your own career evolution?
Sure. So my career evolution goes back 35 plus years. When I finished graduate school, and so I was, once upon a time in the same shoes that our students are, and 35 years ago, I hate to say that, but it's true, I was at Booth, and when I left there, I went into finance. So I was, there are a few women in finance, and my career has been in finance, in capital markets. So I can tell you that early in my career, I started out in the banking track, and then I went into trading. I was always fascinated with markets. I am a self-professed geek. I'm fascinated with markets. I worked on a trading floor. And that's, how I started out. And at the time, it was just, learn everything and be a sponge, learn everything. I was one of the first women on a trading floor. Now, this goes back to about, let's say, 1989, 1990, late 80s, early 90s. Once upon a time, I did trade futures, options. All of that's now in the rearview mirror. But, it just helped me understand, different industries, markets. Then I went on to the capital market side of finance. And I spent really there the majority of my career. And it's largely about the last, before coming to Notre Dame, and I've been here about almost 10 years now, but I spent about 20 years there.
Wow.
I was largely in the fixed income business and traveled, Singapore, London, South Africa, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Canada. Spent a lot of time in all of those places working with companies as they developed their own presence and financing and building and growth. And this was largely in energy at the time, in energy project finance. But it gave me the opportunity to spend a lot of time internationally. And that's really what brought me to Notre Dame. At the time, I started teaching global finance for one of our former department chairs. I want to say maybe 2-3 department chairs ago. And then the question became, how do we get you to stay? And the rest is history. So
glad you stayed.
It's been a journey. I mean, honestly, it's been a journey. I will say it's been a blessing. I love Notre Dame and all of my colleagues, our students, our alumni, our faculty. I couldn't say enough about. It's my home. It's going to be, almost 10 years. Yeah. And I'm, thrilled and honored to be here. Every day I still drive here and they have to think, is this really happening? And it's really happened. So it is indeed a blessing. I view my role as, how do I help our students make that next decision for them? How can we become a part of their life and their next career transition? So I do teach today, still teach that global finance class to our executive group. I've taught to our MBA group and other classes, to our undergraduate group.
Yeah, wow. That's a really impressive career. And I want to underscore that you were one of the first women on the trading floor. That is such a highlight, and you bring such experience in the world of business in a very shifting industry along the way. And so how does your experience, and I guess how has it informed this role for you? I know that you're, I get an opportunity to work with you quite closely, and I notice the innovations and the way in which you've transformed the EMBA program.
Sure.
And so I'd be curious to hear how you think about it.
So my appointment began earlier this year, and really one of the mandates were, how do we rethink curriculum? And how do we rethink curriculum such that our EMBA students or our executive students can manage all of the challenges that they have, families, children, demanding positions, travel, work, and then you want to think about doing a Executive MBA program. And how do we set ourselves up to help them succeed to get to where they want to be? And one of the first mandates were, and they said, Gianna, let's just rethink curriculum and rethink structure. I like to use the word structure of the program and the program as it was laid out. And so really what we did is in every discipline, one, it became a question of how do we strengthen all our marketing, our finance, the management classes, marketing classes. So there's a level of innovations that we started looking at there. And then structure. Our students will now, for the first time ever, be taking 3 classes at a time. Our Chicago program will move to the once per month monthly residences, which I think is a great. As the more I think about it, I love that decision more and more. I think that helps us broaden our reach. But with respect to the innovation side, so let's just say within the marketing discipline, we'll now offer a digital marketing class. And we will kick that off this semester with Tim Bowling.
Excellent.
So I'm really excited that going forward, beginning this fall, we've strengthened the marketing discipline. I'm working closely with all of our department chairs, and I'm just really proud to say that, this is coming together. There's a lot of collaboration here and a lot of, I'll say we have a lot of unsung heroes here. And so many of our colleagues in our operations team, certainly graduate enrollment and your side of the world, our student services, but we really are looking at partnering with our different partners to strengthen marketing. Then in the information technology discipline, we brought in Nick Parenti, who's now going to teach our data and technology for senior leaders. And we've codified that, so to speak, to make that a permanent part of our curriculum.
Excellent.
So we've strengthened the technology and the analytics side of the curriculum. Nick, I'm also pleased to say, is on our curriculum committee now, so I'm very excited about that. And so ITO, or as we like to say that internally, the Information Technology, Analytics, and Operations discipline is strengthened. He's also crafted a very nice electives, so we'll strengthen the electives offering by continuing with technology and the whole business analytics discipline. Then with our finance offering, we are now bringing in Tim Loughran, who has been away from our Executive MBA team for probably the better part of a decade, but he's coming back. I'm very excited about that. We're strengthening it by offering valuation. So if you look at our Executive MBA students, one of the biggest requests we get is mergers and acquisitions and valuation. They go hand in hand. And if you think about our students, our Executive MBA students, and where they're at professionally, many of them, they're in leadership roles. And they are buying, selling, or valuing companies. So that skill set becomes really part of building out that toolkit. So we're bringing in Tim Loughran, who's also on our curriculum committee, and he will be teaching valuation. My hope is to bring in mergers and acquisitions into our electives offering next summer. Great. So we're already thinking ahead. We've already got a whole 1 year runway out in front of us. So we'll bring in M&A into the offering, valuation next year as well in the spring semester. So we're really pleased about that. And then we have in our management and organization offerings, we will bring in governance. and that's coming, and that too will become a permanent part of our curriculum. I am over the top excited about that. And this is Professor Busenbark, so we are thrilled to welcome him to the team, and that is forthcoming. We've got all the wheels in motion for that. And as I said, we have to evolve, and we have to look at the landscape and see where we have any, how can we strengthen the curriculum. So we're going to bring in the governance offering, and we have our leadership offering. So, let me just say that our curriculum in the EMBA program is built on the ethos of ethical leadership. And so it goes without saying that across our discipline, all of our students we offer many classes with respect to ethical leadership. We have a very strong offering. We have Anton Brunsel, Mike Krant, Cindy Muir, and I'm really proud to say that we now have, under the leadership of Christopher Adkins, building out and curating what the ethical leadership program will be.
Wow.
So we are beginning that this year. It's under a new strategic direction. And so, as I mentioned, we're evolving. We have to evolve. We have to look at the landscape and think about what is distinctly Notre Dame, and how do we strengthen all of these offerings. So I think I've covered all of the disciplines. And so my hope is that as students look to us, they see our curriculum, our offering, our faculty, that we bring to bear all of the things that help them make a very informed and wise decision.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for that, because you've given us a really wonderful perspective on how you're thinking about curating the student experience from a faculty and curriculum standpoint, and also thinking about it from the vantage point of the student experience, and making sure that this is something that is manageable. It will be a stretch, because the hope is that, students walk away with some expanded capacity, right? But also that they're able to impact their own organizations and communities and even beyond. So I'm wondering, when you think about the students themselves, what are you noticing about their transformation through the curriculum and through their experience?
Sure. So within the curriculum, we also have what I like to call key transformative moments or periods of time in the curriculum. And the first example is orientation week. So when we bring them here, we start out with our Executive Integral Leadership Program, and they are here with us for a week. And, we're a big believer in cohort-based learning. So our students it's a cohort program, so everything is lockstep. So building those bonds with your cohort become very strong. And we start that right out of the gate in that very first week during orientation week, where we build with our leadership program. It's a curated week of speakers and some leadership training, values training, and that is, an integral part. I like to say that they build on that as the program progresses. Then if we fast forward, on the experiential learning front, we offer the International Systems Thinking class. And every year we bring our students to a different location. So this is both cohorts. Our Chicago cohort, our South Bend cohort will go to some location around the world. We're going to work with our Notre Dame Global Gateways. And these are really, what we're looking for in this experience is a week of experiential learning where they're working with companies and nonprofits on the ground. So this is hands-on learning. Bring to bear everything that you've learned in the classroom to a group of companies and nonprofits. So this is our with respect to our nonprofits, what I like to think of as our social impact investing, how do we help them and how do we help better communities around the world?
Yeah.
And our students care about that. Notre Dame students, we find that we attract those students that really want to make a difference. And as we say, grow the good in business and live that. How do we live that? And that becomes real important. So this year's group, we will take them to Santiago, Chile. We will work with some nonprofits in Santiago, and then we'll work with some businesses. So they'll get a mix of both. So it will be about 7 days of intense consultative type learning. And we'll have one of our faculty members in the management department lead that. We have different faculty who do that. Mike Manor and Gerard Panicook, I'm very thrilled to say that they will, lead that effort. But every year it will be a different location. But the goal is always the same, that we make a difference in communities. So this year it's Santiago, next year it could be somewhere different. But we'll partner with our global gateway locations to find those types of opportunities where we can make a difference.
Yeah.
And, we'll partner with our gateway locations as well. So this is something else that we're looking at. How do we build out this experiential learning piece? Then we have a week in June in between the first year and second year where we bring our students and our alums back to campus.
It's amazing.
For our electives week. Yeah. And we open it up and we bring our current students. They get to sit side by side with alumni. There's a lot of networking, and we'll have a whole menu of electives. So, we're busy. Yeah, we're busy.
But the idea there is to provide some hands-on experiential learning alongside the very much focused leadership. And throughout all of that, it's the community that you've spoken about so wonderfully. Notre Dame attracts candidates who want to give back, who want to contribute. And so, if you were to think about the alumni network that you see from the Executive MBA program, how would you describe that network?
So our alumni network, I think, is phenomenal. If I look and think back about the strength of our alumni network, it's pretty incredible, even within what we like to call the tri-state region. So say, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, we have almost 10,000 alumni in that location alone. So our students, one of the things we hear most often about what attracts them to Notre Dame is certainly the alumni network. So it goes without saying that the strength of the alumni network, the generosity of our alumni, I think is just amazing. Every day I'm hearing from alumni, how can I help? How can I help make a difference? How can I help you, Gianna? Is there anything that I can do? There's almost not a day that goes by that I don't hear from someone. The network, I think, is vast and broad. Our network internationally, globally, is very significant. So we will always look for ways in which we can partner with our alumni and, even create opportunities for alumni. So certainly Electives Week is one of those opportunities where we want to bring them back to campus. And I'm a big believer in adult lifelong learning. And I love that we have our alumni come back and we can provide a menu of offering, maybe 6-7 classes across different disciplines, and offer them 2 classes that, to help build out their toolkit and help strengthen their whatever they need at that point in their career.
Yeah, it's like incredibly robust alumni base, but then also, I think that there's a part of candidates who are interested in programs like this as working professionals who also have that intellectual curiosity and the generosity of spirit in which to engage and contribute. And the fact that we see alumni coming back to do that is just a testament to that initial wish to be a part of something bigger than themselves and a part of the
Right.
program. Yeah.
Right.
So I know we don't have a ton more time
Sure.
left, so I want to
Sure.
ask you just a couple more
Sure.
questions.
Sure.
I guess one question that I have is, what are you most proud of in your graduates? Like what is really inspiring to you about the candidates and as those who graduate?
Sure. So when we look at our candidates and our students, alumni, I always say, what's the key to success? And how do you succeed at doing arguably a rigorous program, 22 months, and there's a lot of sacrifice. And when I think about, what I'm most proud of is their success and graduation day. I always say is the victory lap, really for all of us, them and us.
Yeah.
We make it to the finish line, help them get to that next stage in their career. But I always like to say it's support at home, support at work. And we provide with our student services team, our operations team. I always like to say, and I use the term unsung heroes, there is a support network that helps our students succeed here.
Yes.
The cohort-based learning model, I'm a big believer that's backed up by some very good research in adult learning, and that is a big strength as well. So we have, I like to think, the cohort, our student services team, certainly the support that we get from your team on an ongoing basis, the graduate enrollment and admissions team, that all along that 22-month journey, there are support in place for our students. Because when you think about it, I mean, it's family, it's travel, it's work. None of that stops because they come here. So how do we set them up for success? I think that it's a journey. And making it to the end, graduation day, I mean, that is, I am over the top proud of our students when they make it to the end.
With all of the things that they have going on, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. So one last question is, for those of you who are watching, what would your piece of advice be for people who are considering an executive MBA?
Right. We do find that it is a long period of time before students actually do, get the confidence or line everything up in your life that you need to do. I think support at home and support at work. Those tend to be the two pillars that I think a student has to have in place before you undertake this. Now, that said, we do provide a lot of preparatory. Someone says, well, I don't have the accounting background. I might not have the marketing background. Our students come from a very diverse background.
Yes.
Everything. Geographically, age-wise, professionally, we have a very, very diverse cohort. I think that's a strength.
Yes.
I think that's a benefit. I think we want that on all levels. But just know that I'd say know that you're coming in with a cohort that is very diverse, and we help you, and we will provide, if you need grounding or background in accounting, in econ, in finance, we can help provide that and help get you ready for that first day.
Absolutely, and that's the key for many of these programs is just that preparation. And being ready at home and at work to take on this challenge.
Yes.
Gianna, it is always a pleasure to connect with you and to hear, about your vision for the Executive MBA program. Thank you so much for being here today. I want to thank all of you for joining us. If you have any questions about the Executive MBA, we have many admissions professionals, both in South Bend and Chicago, to help share with you more about the program in depth. Thank you so much.